Why is it that when life becomes the hardest, faith is often the first thing we begin to lose? When problems refuse to stop, when prayers feel like they disappear into silence, when everything we once depended on slowly fades away, it becomes easy to believe that maybe God is no longer listening. But sometimes, the moment when faith feels the weakest is exactly when it is being tested the most. This is the story of Ibrahim, and the quiet way his faith returned when he least expected it. Ibrahim had spent most of his life in a small village called Karuma. It was a peaceful place, dusty roads, familiar faces, and simple living. Everyone knew everyone. Life was never perfect, but it was steady. Years later, his daughter moved abroad with her husband. After much persuasion, Ibrahim decided to join them in a faraway country, and everything there felt unfamiliar. The language sounded strange. The cold weather cut through his skin. Even the food felt distant from what he once knew. But Ibrahim didn't complain. He was happy because he was with family. He spent his days helping around the house, fixing small things, cooking simple meals, and most importantly, taking care of his grandson, Daniel. Life felt quiet, but full. Then one year, everything changed. In a sudden and unexpected turn of life, Ibrahim lost both his daughter and her husband in a tragic accident. The home that once echoed with laughter fell into a painful silence. And just like that, Ibrahim was left alone with one responsibility: Daniel. Days became heavy. Bills began to pile up. The savings disappeared quickly. And Ibrahim realized something he had never imagined he would have to start over. At his age, in a country that still didn't feel like home. He found small jobs wherever he could, fixing broken fences, cleaning yards, carrying loads. Every morning he left early. Every night he returned exhausted, but he kept going because someone depended on him. There was a small shelf in the living room. On it sat a worn-out holy book and a small lamp. Back in Karuma, Ibrahim used to pray every evening without fail. But now, the lamp stayed unlit. Some nights he sat there, staring at it, not praying, not speaking, just silent. His faith had grown tired. One night, after Daniel had fallen asleep, Ibrahim sat alone again. His heart felt heavy. For the first time in weeks, he whispered softly, "God, I don't understand why this happened, but please just watch over this boy." Give him a better future than this. He didn't expect an answer. He didn't feel peace. He simply went to sleep. The next day, while working in a neighborhood, Ibrahim noticed an older man struggling outside his home. The man looked weak, barely able to stand. Without hesitation, Ibrahim rushed to help him inside. He brought water, prepared a simple meal from what was available, and stayed until the man felt better. Before leaving, the man thanked him and offered some money. Ibrahim accepted it humbly, but in his heart he felt he had only done what was right. He never expected to see him again. But a few days later, there was a knock on his door. Ibrahim opened it, and there stood the same man, smiling gently. "I hope I'm not disturbing," he said. But I can't stop thinking about that meal you made." Ibrahim chuckled softly and invited him in. As Daniel laughed nearby, Ibrahim cooked again. For the first time in a long while, the house felt warm, alive. Before leaving, the man looked around, then spoke carefully. "I would like to help you. I can support Daniel's education." Ibrahim paused, then shook his head. "No, I cannot accept that." The man didn't argue. He simply smiled and left. A few days later, there was another knock. This time, Ibrahim stepped outside and froze. Parked in front of his house was a small food cart. The man stood beside it. "This is not charity," he said calmly. "This is a loan. You cook with heart. Start selling your food. When you earn, you can pay me back." Ibrahim hesitated. "What if no one comes?" he asked quietly. The man smiled. People always return to what feels genuine." And so, Ibrahim began. At first, only a few customers came. Then more and more. Soon, the small food cart became known across the neighborhood, not just for the food, but for the warmth Ibrahim served with it. People came back again and again, not just to eat, but to feel something real. One evening, Ibrahim stood beside his cart, watching Daniel laugh as he spoke with the man who had helped them. For a moment, everything felt still. Then slowly, Ibrahim looked up. His eyes softened, and for the first time in a long while, he smiled. Quietly, he whispered, "Thank you." Sometimes life becomes so difficult that faith begins to slip away. You stop praying, you stop believing. You start wondering if anyone is listening at all. But when life becomes harder, don't lose your faith. Hold on tighter. Because faith doesn't always remove the storm, but it gives you strength to walk through it. And sometimes, the answer to your prayer doesn't come as a miracle, but as a person, a stranger, a moment, a second chance. So if you are going through a dark time right now, remember this: the night may feel endless, but morning always comes. No darkness lasts forever. Hold on, just a little longer, because the light you're waiting for may already be on its way.